So the user menu class, the sort of like the backbone, the most complex part of it, besides input, which is solved by the scanner for us. But the flexible part is this array list, right? So this array list of strings allows us to populate the menu and keep it scalable, so we can add more items if we decided to. The only problem is so far is that the user menu is not really exposed to problems with numbering of menu items. However, the main method clearly is exposed to the way we populate it, and we have to be extra careful with those numbers. That's why predicting that this will be a weakness in my code, that's why I added those comments, right? So if I decided to insert something in the middle or add add another menu item, such as delete all records, right? So something like this. If I say delete all records, and this will be other, and I intentionally kind of try to copy and paste, then as you can see, my numbers are out of sync. So I need to essentially immediately go ahead and update the rest of this method, and I see this as a weakness. So now this becomes number 4 and this becomes number 5. Obviously, if this was a list of choices that changes like every day, this would be inappropriate. But I'm not expecting this menu to change a lot. Once it's set, it'll change infrequently. So perhaps this is somewhat acceptable. But of course, right here is another weakness that I need to now go ahead and handle separately. This part here, number 4 and number 5, and this is 4 now became delete all records. Delete all records. We didn't implement it just yet, and exit is 5. Yes?
Did you build something in there, like, call it, in this case, K6 and K7, and just put it as, like, say, reserved? So you have a built-in...
You have a fixed structure that can then later be... Absolutely, yes, of course. And yeah, this is... yeah, the question is, could we do something like this? Reserved, right? Reserved. And essentially pre-populate our menu with some of the reserved items like this. Let's do a couple more, right? So this will be 5, 6, 7, and eventually 8 will be exit. So yes, of course. Yeah, this may be...
To me, it would seem to make it a little bit easier to go back in there
to manage all this. Sure. Yeah, and then just change the wording and do populate it. So at this point, if we want to handle number 5, which is now reserved, we can update. So this is now 8, right? So in the switch statement, of course, you can do multiple cases at once. 5, 6, and 7 will say reserved, right? And so we can say reserved item. That's right, but this actually kind of cool because it gives us a chance to implement switch with those multiple case labels, where we can do the same thing for all of them. Yes, I think it's a great idea, and it's very practical. Thank you, thank you. Let's try running it and see how it behaves. So now it says reserved a few times. So so now if I say 7, it'll say reserved item. If I say 1, it'll say not implemented, which is okay. Which is number 8 should be, actually let's try some garbage value that it's invalid. Oh, and we never tried our exception, like, you know, total garbage, something like that. It says it never stops, so we should try invalid. No, it doesn't even say anything. It just goes right back to the prompt. So I think that's something that we also need to be more verbose about. So let's just say exit, and let's fix this. So in case then that exception is caught, right? So we have this input mismatch exception nicely thrown by the scanner on next int. We say bad input continue. So I think all we need to do is just pause, right? We need to be able to pause. So just pause like we did before. I think this will be a better thing to do. So again, if I type some where did I just type that? I think I typed it, yeah. Control Z. So if I enter some garbage, it just says bad input, please retry, and gives us the pause. All right, so then invalid choice, please retry one more time. Oh, okay, so it was it goes through that finally block. Yeah, next line. Input mismatch exception. So let's see, the scenario is yeah, the finally block gets this, then we get out of this. Yeah. See, the finally is executed on both try and catch, right? So what I need to do is perhaps take the return out of the finally block, right? Let's see. So here's an endless loop. Prints the prompt. A user enters a number, no catch, finally says, let's do this part, next line, and we return. In another situation, they type garbage, we catch, and we say bad input and pause. Then we say, yeah, it's really, the pause is now be a little bit. The pause was supposed to do this part, actually. So the catch will work. Before we continue, the finally will execute and we'll say next line. I'm not sure if I want to do this in the finally block. Let's just try this for now. Because I just, there's too many pauses and next line, and yet we do need this next line in case if we catch the exception. So let's keep it this way for now. Let's find out how this works. All right, again, normal case. Again, I keep typing it. Normal case, number 1. All right. Not implemented, go back to the menu. out of range. Invalid choice, please retry. Go back to the menu. Finally, garbage. Right, so it says bad input, press enter to continue, and it goes right to the, and it kind of like goes right to the prompt. It never prints the menu. Alright, I guess if I enter it now, thanks for using the system. So this needs to be somewhat improved, I think, still. Need to basically make sure that this getInt does exactly, precisely the right thing, because we want to keep the user interface clean. So right now the problem with it is that it seems like when we say bad input and all that, bad input and then pause. If I just comment out this seems to be over-engineered. Let's save this and try to make sure we get it right.